Hi everybody. For those of you who have been watching me building the bridge over Logan's Crack, I'm just doing a dry fitting run of the single bridge which is running down the incline, because the train comes down round the hoop and back across this single section, and this is going to be the road section. I can't remember on the last video how much I'd done. I'll just do a close-up of what's going on. So that cardboard lattice work for the hill, bloody hell, it's hard to cut to get the bridge in position. So if you can see at the back there, I had to hack big holes in there to slide the bridge in, take a lot of the supports out for the bridge to get it in. But I've started doing some rock work. So what I find is easier to do is I put the I do the paper mache work with the plaster mache. I give it a quick coat of paint because it gives you more. So it's hard to see the dips and everything when it's white. So I did that. I haven't used my rock molds. I've just been putting the plaster on and then chiseling it out with my clay tools. I've got some of these tools from some sculpting work I was doing before. You can buy a pack of these clay tools. They're a bit like what the dentist uses, but you get lots of different ends. Anyway, you just scratch out random shapes and then give it a real wet coat of black. Everything on this is water soluble, so you can you can't make any mistakes. You just do it, and if you mess it up, just do it again. So you leave gaps everywhere where you're going to put a bit of grass and some sand, you know, like falling stones. That area there might be a couple of bits of water running down there. So what I'll do now is I'll work my way up. I'll refill all the holes here with some of the plaster mache. And now we can see where the bridge is. I can put some rock work around the bottom of them for the supports. I've got a new pipe for the airline for the airbrush, so I can paint that bridge with the airbrush. And it doesn't matter if you get paint. And the idea of doing a really watered down coat of black is so the black runs into all the crevices. You know, you want it so watery it soaks into the plaster and sort of stains it. And you want to start with your darkest colours first and work up with your dry brushing. And you know, so like you'll put this dark black coat on, and then I'll probably go to a grey coat, and then a slightly lighter grey again. And every time you're doing it, you're building that depth of picture up. And then you move on to dry brushing, which is a technique where you wet the brush and then dry it virtually right out, and then just stroke over the raised areas, and it picks the colours up. It's an amazing technique. But I've got a lot more rock work to do. I want to put lots of rocks on here and over the back side of there. Paint the bridge in. You can see that massive hacked hole in there. We'll poke some ply. The beauty of using water-based stuff is anything that goes on, you can just clean it off afterwards. Which is you sort of give the area a good spray with your pump bottle to re-wet the plaster, stick your next coat on, and when you're putting your rocks on, give it a good squirt of water, chuck your plaster on, and then just chisel it out. And you know, the rougher the better. So if you see now, that was I only put one coat of plaster on because I wanted to cut these holes to the bridge, but you see down here it's solid. So we'll do a couple more coats of stuff, and then we move back so you can see the bridge. And as I said to you before, I'm printing this on my printer in sections, so rather than adding a straight section in here for the back one, I just joined it straight together. So I didn't want it exactly the same because I didn't think it would look so good. But you know, if you look at that angle, I'm pretty impressed with that. That's what I got the printer for, was building this bridge. You see it at a different angle. Now see, this section had to be very thin in the loft because of the trap hatch. Because I don't know if any of you guys know my disabled lad, he comes up the trap hatch there. So I had to leave enough room for him to step out on the top, and as soon as he's up, we drop the trap hatch and he's in. There's a lot of mess in here because I've got my big canvas printer under here. That's the box I made to go on top of the printer for when I'm printing with ABS. Let me spin around. This is the second hill I've started building. There's going to be a removable, so you see that's the tunnel mouth there. Gives you an idea of scale. It's quite a big bridge, quite a big tunnel. It comes around here. There's going to be a removable section here, so I can get my hand in there, clean the track, and for any derailments. Anyway, that was just an update on Logan's crack. Bridge is coming on nicely. Okay, I think I don't know what part that is, part 4, maybe part 5. But I'll get that painted up and plastered in, do a bit more rock work, and do another update. Okay, bye.